This time I would like to show you a little bit of the process that's behind each of my doll. Today I will show you how I make one of my 17 cm ball jointed doll mini bell. As usual, I start with making a copy of my original master model. Casting is a seemingly easy process, but in fact it takes a bit of experience. You need to understand the material to match the technique to your needs. Doll parts you see here are made of polyurethane resin. For molds, I am using soft platinum cure silicone. I picked translucent one, which helps me cut parting lines and control the resin level inside the mold. For casting, I am also using a pressure chamber. It allows me to have consistent, perfect casts. Here I remove air vents from the mold. Those are super important. Even if you are using pressure chamber, you still need to build your mold right and prepare vents, so the air can escape the mold when you pour resin inside. After the molding parts, I roughly cut out sprues with pliers. It's good to do it shortly after casting when resin is softer. It is cured, but not yet in its final form. Later, I proceed to remove spruce completely with a precise knife. If you ever made a research about making a silicone mold, you probably heard a lot that you need to degas silicone in a vacuum chamber. But rarely anyone tells you why exactly. See that bumps on the surface? This is what happens when you don't degas your silicone and later use this mold in pressure chamber. Parts don't always come out perfect. Sometimes sprues get clogged and I don't notice, like in this case. Parts like this return to the collective and wait for their time in some special project. Now will be the least fun part, drilling and sanding. No matter how perfect is the mold, there's always some post-casting treatment needed. Here I drill remaining small sections to complete the tunnels inside parts. I use an electric drill with different tips, and that gold box below is a dust collector. Casting a ball jointed door is tricky because parts need to be hollow inside. So you either take extra time to preserve those holes as much as possible in your silicone mold, or you take extra time drilling parts. If you are going to cast more than one copy, then always go with first option and reduce drilling as much as possible. The tiniest holes on hands and feet are drilled by hand. I also sand joint sockets so the hot glue lining will adhere better and won't wear off so quickly. I sand off any lines and sprue leftovers with sanding paper. I use it with water so it is more gentle on the surface, and also because I don't want to contaminate parts with black grains that would be extremely difficult to remove. This doll will be painted and covered with varnish, so I lightly sand off the surface of parts as well. That will allow varnish to stick better and be more durable. Later I wash parts and dry them with towel. I paint the doll with acrylics. I design the pattern along the way. I make a rough sketch with pencil and then proceed with paint. Although this doll is tiny, it actually took me as much time as painting my previous big doll. After everything is ready, I put 3 layers of varnish to protect paint and also to create an illusion of enamel. create some cozy atmosphere for you. Just kidding, I'm actually adding hot glue lining that I mentioned before. That trick creates friction so the doll will hold poses better. Now all parts are ready for the final stage. Let's see how they look. Since this doll is so small, I also prepared extra tiny hooks for hands, feet and head. Before I start making accessories for the doll, I put all the parts together. Though at this stage I already have a vision in my mind, I need to confront my ideas. For each full set doll, I prepare a mood board first, where I determine the character of the doll and gather all sorts of ideas. It helps to stay focused and be consistent with the project. But many times I have to change things because assembled doll gives off a different vibe than I expected. So in a way, the doll tells me what she needs. I also often add new things along the way. When it comes to creating, I don't plan too much. show you a bit of making a doll stand. Most of my work is delicate, but surprisingly, I use hammer a lot in my workshop. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.